officially summer, I want to do another H2O styling video. So I did do a whole style analysis video on all four girls last year, and I just recently did one going over Ricky's style in particular. So this video is going to be more like that one, and today, if you haven't guessed by now, we're going to be talking about Cleo and Cleo Sertori's iconic fashion. When I think about Cleo's style, I think it's the very stereotypical idea of Y2K that we have, if that makes sense. Like how society and companies seem to remember Y2K, this like very girly, feminine, almost I guess like childlike in a way. Lots of bright, fun colors. I feel like a lot of companies that are bringing out these like modern pieces that are supposed to be influenced by Y2K fashion is kind of what Cleo wears. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I'm articulating it as well as I want to. And it's also more of that stereotypical summer vibe. So like I mentioned in my Ricky video, it is a much more muted and grungy, moody summer wardrobe. A lot of her colors is almost that of what you would see for like fall. But with Cleo, her color palette is very bright and very summer coated. She has the widest color palette of all the girls. You have a lot of like pinks and various shades of blue, like more like teal, and lots of corals and orange, which I really like. I feel like that is having its little moment right now, like coral. This whole like coral versus teal, very reminiscent of like the coral versus mint from the 2010s. And of course, I cannot forget her signature color, purple. As always, these color palettes are just very generalized. She definitely wears other colors throughout the show, and I personally like when she wears green because I personally really like green, but she has a couple looks in the show and just like promo where she's sporting green. I personally really like this baby doll. To recreate this Y2K style flawlessly, I would definitely recommend to thrift like actual vintage 2000s pieces. I do thrift bundles, so if that's something that you are interested in, I'm gonna leave my TikTok playlist below where you can see like my past work as well as a form for that. But 2000s fashion has definitely been trending for the past few years, so there are a lot of like modern brands that are carrying this style slash it's all about how you stylize it. Because if you think of something as simple as camis, I feel like these never go out of style. Obviously a summer staple, but the way that Cleo styles it on the show is what gives it that Y2K flair. So all the girls layer throughout the show because again, that is just like a quintessential 2000s thing to do. But her in particular, like she literally has a look where she's wearing 3 different shirts, so I think she layers the most out of all the girls. And her tops are always typically embellished, so they either feature some beadwork, sequins, embroidery, lace. It always has a little something going on, and for those plainer tanks, she does layer them again to give it some more dimension. She does layer camis over camis. But this would be something that she would wear, this little striped Henley top. It has green and gray stripes, and this one is from Hollister. Aside from having the widest color palette, I also feel like she's the one that experiments the most with like different patterns. So these are just like some camis that I could see living in her closet, whether because I feel like the print fits her style as well as just like the colors. Something that I don't necessarily have when it comes to camis is florals. She does wear a few floral tops. For sure would recommend looking for something with lace trim. I got this little lilac one off of Amazon. Another lace trim one is actually one that I'm wearing right now. It's this little teal one from Hollister. Most of my tank tops are actually from Hollister and Brandy. Hollister had these really nice reversible ones. So this polka dot one is also just like solid pink. Both the Hollister ones and Brandy ones are cotton. I will say I do prefer the quality of the Brandy ones. Another cami I can see her wearing is this little striped pink one from Brandy. I also really want to get their teal version of this. I can definitely see Cleo wearing that, and I just think it's so adorable. Again, I think this little coral number from Brandy as well would be the perfect tank for her. Now moving to some of more of those embellished tops that I was mentioning, she does have a few pieces on the show that are embroidered, so I thought this top would be something that would really match her style. She does also wear like these white floral tops. I just thought this was like the perfect combination of the two. This one is thrifted and it is from Anthropology. But this is one of my favorite tops. It's very fairy vibes, which I think matches Cleo's style. Not necessarily embellished, but it is coral and it is a paisley print. So I remember last year, like on TikTok, people saying they didn't really like paisley, but I personally really love paisley, and that is like a print that she will often wear throughout the show. But this one is also thrifted and it is from Hardtail, one of my favorite tops as well. This top is also thrifted. I got it for my sister and we found it new with tags, but as you can see, it does have some little bit of beadwork, and this one to me is like so similar to this one from the show. It's a little bit of like a baby doll silhouette as well. Really lovely teal, perfect for the summer. On the topic of baby dolls, like I said, I feel like her style is the most sought after because she does wear cute little baby doll tops occasionally. Both the coral and the white fairy top are baby dolls, but I also have this one which reminds me of these tops that she wears. This one is actually old Victoria's Secret. It was a PJ set and I did part with the bottoms, but I did keep the tops. I also have it in this muted pink and black polka dot version. I think these are so cute, but out of the two, this one is definitely more Cleo coded. I forgot to mention earlier, but she also does wear yellow. So I think this would be definitely something living in her closet. It's this really cute yellow baby doll top from Brandy, and it has this like lace trim here. And I don't know, I just feel like this would definitely fit her style. This is another baby doll top. It's a little bit more fitted and it reminds me of the silhouette from this look. So another baby doll top, it comes with a tie back. I got this one off of TikTok Shop. It's 100% cotton. I have it both in navy and in purple. I really like these tops. They're very flattering, and because they're that v-neck, they are perfect for layering. She wears lots of v-necks, and I would say like scoop neck. On a topic of v-necks, I have these two tops. So this one is from Brandy and it has this little like crisscross, but I think this would be the perfect top for layering. I also got it in this kind of like blue teal. One is from Addicted and it is also cotton. Baby dolls are super trendy right now, and I would say the one thing about the modern baby doll tops is that they are pretty boring in comparison to those of the 2000s. I really love all like the florals, and that's definitely something that she sports. She has a lot of florals as well as these more like tropical print ones, which I think are even harder to come by. The closest thing I have to that is this one. I think the colors is giving Emma, but I can definitely see Cleo wearing this. It has this little flower here, and I actually got this one off of TikTok. Don't recommend it though. It like slips down a lot, but this is just something that I think I would be on the lookout. Vintage Hollister and Abercrombie has a lot of those like floral ones. I did find this one at the thrift store, but unfortunately it was not a baby doll top, it was a romper. But that is just something that I would like to have in my rotation if I were building her closet. So like I said, she wears a lot of embellished tops featuring things like sequins, and although she does not wear a straight up like sequin top, I could see this being a part of her closet. This one was a thrift flip, so it is from the brand Mango, and it was actually a dress, but it was pretty ill-fitting and sheer, so I ended up turning it into a little top. Out of all of the girls, she definitely wears the most dresses and skirts, and something that is like, again, super 2000s is wearing dresses over jeans. So she does style these sort of like longer baby doll tops over skirts. I got this one randomly at Walmart. It is No Boundaries. I do like to wear this one as a baby doll, so I'll usually tuck that first layer to kind of give that look. I'm actually considering turning this into a baby doll top just because I feel like I'm gonna get more use out of it. The other tropical little dress that I think would also double as like a little top, especially for those like super extra long 2000s ones, is this one. I got it from Target like back in 2021, and this one is Wild Fables. So the hibiscus print reminds me again of this look. It's one of my favorite looks from Cleo, but because it is red, I can also see Ricky styling this. This one is a baby doll, this really beautiful purple. It's 100% silk, and it is that length again where it's almost like a dress. So I decided to kind of keep it in my dress section of this video. This one is thrifted, and I believe it is from, it was like a long name. It was like 12th Street or something like that. Oh, here it is. 12th Street by Cynthia Vincent. This is another one of my favorite tops. So I think out of all the girls, Cleo is definitely the most reminiscent to my personal style. Now I don't have this in my closet, but she does wear like other more formal dresses throughout the show. She has this coral one, this little halter one, and I saw someone on TikTok say they didn't like it, but I think it's really cute. And I saw this on Pinterest and it's very reminiscent of that, and I just want to recreate this whole look. It's so cute. Definitely adding that to my thrift list. And she does also have this lilac one with the cute little green shrug and tiered ruffles, which I will touch on soon when I finish with all of the tops. She does wear the occasional Henley, like I said, and again, baby doll top, so I thought this was like the perfect mix of those two. It is this really pretty pink. She wears pink a lot throughout the show. Has the little buttons and little cap sleeves. This one is thrifted and it is from Context, and even though the color is very summer, this is actually wool, so it's definitely more for the fall or like spring, like kind of like transitional periods, because it is short sleeve. But I can definitely see her wearing this. Like I mentioned in my Ricky video, I am low on the department of graphic tees, but she does have this look from the show, and it is actually one of my favorite Cleo looks. It's this sort of like more grungier graphic tee, but it is in a Cleo color palette. So I do have this pink top, definitely not the same vibe, but it's just something that I can see her wearing. I got this on a trip to Hawaii back in 2021. I did crop it, which makes it perfect for layering. I kind of wish I hadn't cropped it this short though. I would have definitely liked to make it more into like a baby tee fit, and not necessarily a graphic, but she does also do like tie-dye, has these like little lace tanks, so that is like a little summer DIY that you can do. One of my other favorite looks that she has is this one with the crocheted tank. I don't have that color, but I do have these like open knit crochet tops. They are both thrifted and they were gonna be with tags, so I got pretty lucky there. This one is ultra pink. It's this little tank top, and this would be perfect for layering and also as like a swimsuit cover up. Again, this is filmed on, what is it, the Golden Coast? I don't know, but in Australia. It's obviously about mermaids in the summer, so I think this would also double as like a swimsuit cover up. And then my absolute favorite crochet top I have is this one. It is by Charlie, and the reason I love this one is because it has these little scalloped bell sleeves. I actually did wear this one to the beach and also as a swimsuit cover up, and these are just good for layering aside from just the layered cami look. She also does layer kind of like knitwear over, like her iconic bolero shrugs. This is also very trendy right now, so I don't know, I feel like Cleo was maybe ahead of the curves. And at first I thought it was kind of like a useless piece of clothing, and I didn't really know how to style them because I just didn't want to have like my full stomach out. Just wasn't the vibe. But I really like the way Cleo does it, and it just adds some extra dimension to your look. And also if you get cold really easily, which I do, and this is just something that you see as like common trend of the 2000s. My favorite one is this one that I got from Brandy. They also have it in like short sleeve and different colorways. This one is this nice cable knit one, and this is perfect to recreate this look from the show. This is another one of my favorite Cleo looks. It's a little bit more mature, I would say, like the color palette, a little bit more muted. It's giving like the summer version of like a downtown girl outfit, if that makes sense. When I recreated this look from TikTok, I did add a couple flowers, like I just pinned them on, but that is just something that you can do if you want to upcycle your pieces. You can always add a little flower and just do some hand sewing or find some patches. Something I don't have is those that are like a twist front. So usually I just will do a regular cardigan like this and do a little tie. I also really love this one. It is a ballet one. I have this one also in black. It's one of my favorites and it is cotton. So it's a little bit different than those twist front ones, but I think it can still work to give that look. I think I covered all of the tops, so let's move on to the bottoms. I'm currently wearing some bootcut jeans. That is like her silhouette of choice when it comes to jeans, and that is again my favorite. I just resonate with that more. And they are of course low-waisted. Basically all the bottoms on the show are, because again it's filmed in the 2000s. The one that I'm wearing right now is from American Brat. They're this small business that I found on TikTok and they are my favorite. They are modern, but they are truly low-rise, so I highly recommend checking them out. Another favorite of mine are these ones from Brandy. So Cleo does wear like a lighter to like medium wash, which again I prefer that over like a really dark denim. These ones I've had for a few years. I think I got it back in 2021 and they are the Brielle 90s from Brandy. It has this really interesting texture, but those are my favorite bootcut jeans. Something else that she wears is actually cargos, and all of the girls wear like these utility pants. We definitely heavily associate them with Ricky the most because that is like her signature, but all the girls wear them. Cleo does wear green ones, so I have these ones from Hollister. They have these little ties on the side. These are the same ones I featured in my Ricky video, so you can kind of adjust the length a little bit. She also wears some lighter, more khaki or like cream ones, which is something that Emma does as well. I plan on filming her video next, so stay tuned for that. As I mentioned, she wears the most skirts, I would say, and hers are typically tiered or have like patterns, and they're usually like a maxi or midi length. I have this white tiered ruffle one. I got this one from Ross also back in like 2021. It's the brand Passport, but I feel like these little white ones are super easy to find. And this one kind of reminds me of this tiered paisley one. Speaking of paisley, even though this is not an exact match, she does wear paisley skirts. So I have this one. This is another of my favorite pieces. It is thrifted. It is from New York and Company. This really beautiful deep plum. Again, purple is her color, so this would definitely live in her closet. And then I also included this one. I got it from Hollister, I believe 2025 maybe. And it is this really pretty asymmetrical hem skirt, seafoam green, peach and pink, and all of these colors are definitely in her palette, and just the print of this gives me very like watercolor vibes, kind of like a Monet painting. Floral, so again this is something I can definitely picture her wearing. We covered the midi and maxi skirts, but she also does wear mini skirts, which are my favorite. First, we have this one, and this skirt in particular, Cleo has worn multiple times and also as a top. And I had somebody leave a comment on TikTok talking about Ricky specifically and how she rewears a lot of her pieces, which is true. And I believe it's the most noticeable with her because she does have that very concise color palette as well as like outfit formula of like the layered tanks, button-ups, and cargos. I think it's just the most noticeable with her, but all the girls rewear pieces. I think this is something that is a very nice touch from the show. It just gives it a very real and human feel. This one is from Brandy. This is something that I would be on the lookout, just like some colorful stripes. And if you ever feel like you're running out of clothes, you can always use like your tops as skirts and vice versa. Not a direct pull from the show, but she does wear like lots of tiered stuff like I mentioned, as well as ruffles. I just thought this would be something that would be in her closet. It's this little, almost I would say like purple magenta. This one is also thrifted. The brand just says Body. She does wear denim skirts. She usually wears either like a classic blue as well as this more dark black gray skirt. I always get questions as to where I got this skirt, and it's actually the same line as the Brielle jeans from earlier. It is from Brandy. It is the 90s Brielle skirt, and I would say this skirt is also like true mini, so this is definitely one of my favorite skirts. I got it also in 2021 and still going strong. I love this skirt. She also does wear the occasional denim short. I really like this one. It is from Hollister. I got it last year. It's the ultra low rise. I would say it's not super low rise, but I still really do like the fit of these because they're not super fitted on the thighs. She also wears like different colored denim. And the last bottom I have is this pareo or sarong, whatever you want to call it. This is just an old dance costume of mine. I grew up doing Polynesian dancing, but this is worn as like a swimsuit cover up and I think just as like a skirt on the show. And this is like the color swapped version. And I definitely recommend going to the thrift store for these, especially during the summer. There's a bunch of these in like the swimsuit cover up section or just like swimsuit section. Okay, so I think I covered everything clothing wise, but I would say that Cleo's style is definitely a little bit more maximalist than the other two girls. She definitely accessorizes more. So some accessories that I would include are little headbands. I'm wearing this little scarf today as a headband. Definitely see her wearing these little scarf belts. I thrifted both of these. That's what I'm wearing right now in teal, and then this one in purple. And I got these for like $1, which is crazy because I saw that these retail brand new for like 20 bucks. So would have spent $40, but I spent $2. Other accessories include obviously her H2O locket. In the later seasons, it's like that blue sapphire one. So I'm gonna link that below if you want to get either of those. I'm just wearing this little plumeria one. I got it in this package of like 5 or 6. It comes with like matching earrings, and I just picture her to wear that. I don't know if she necessarily wears it in the show, but I can definitely see her wearing like flower clips, little plumerias or hibiscus. She also does wear like these layered beaded necklaces. And then when it comes to hairstyles, she does wear her natural wavy curly hair, just like Ricky. And I feel like that is very summer because it's just like this like beachy vibe. She wears her hair down and she does have bangs at some point in the show. I believe it's the first season. She also wears her hair up in a ponytail as well as like the 2 braids just like Ricky. And then in the later seasons, I believe season 3 is when she does straighten her hair. So those are some hairstyles to kind of emulate her style a little bit more. When it comes to footwear, she wears the iconic sneaker flats. I believe hers might have been the brand Rocket Dog, or at least that was like one that I remember seeing when I was researching for my H2O analysis. Other brands to look out for would be like Keds, Converse, I believe maybe even Adidas. I don't know, but at least currently for sure Converse does do that. Solid prints, which just like I mentioned the baby doll tops from earlier, these like companies making the modern version of like the 2000s ones are cute, but they're a little bit soulless. I wish they would bring some more fun prints like florals, or I would really love to have like cherry print ones. I know that's kind of random. I feel like cherry print is just on my head because I'm also filming a Jennifer Check video and she wears this top at some point in a deleted scene. She also wears ballet flats. She has these like bright orange coral ones, and something the girls don't do on the show but I would do, and I think would be something they potentially would have, is platform sandals. And then the last sandals I could see her wearing are actually ones that I'm wearing right now. They are these ones. They are like a dupe of the vintage Steve Madden ones I saw all over Pinterest. Again, they are a little bit of a platform, and I just think the little floral detail is very Cleo coded, so I decided to include it. Okay, and I think I covered everything on achieving her style. I'm gonna go ahead and link where I got all the pieces. I did try to mention them in the video, but I'm also gonna make sure to link them in my LTK, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!